decided to read my poems as a kind of a protest tonight at the way that our Hispanic friends are being treated at the border. Because it's not right. And where I live at Riverwoods, we've had the roofs on 3 campuses repaired or re-shingled by groups that were totally Hispanic, working hard, doing a great job, and we really need those people. So these poems were written during a visit or two to Mexico. And I just thought they give another picture of what the folks are like down there and in other Hispanic countries. The first one has to do, we visited a glass factory, and I was so impressed with what the boys, it was young boys really, teenage boys, handling the fire, you know, and the hot glass. And I also was impressed by the pretty young boys handling the bulls in the bull ring. So I wrote this, Going in Style. The boys in Mexican glassworks swing their blowpipes in parabolas like gauchos twirling lassos, eliciting form from incandescence. Precise as ballet dancers, they make their moves at intersecting roots. Aware but casual, nothing between the flesh and the flame. The boys in Mexican bull rings entice the dark charger with magenta capes, like women flirting handkerchiefs. The calligraphic invitations suggest a close encounter. Nothing between the hip and the horn. They dance a tango with destiny, teasing entropy into art. The collective farm. 2 farm boys, careless of typhoid, bounce on talkative burros and trade obsidian arrowheads for pesos. Piglets scatter, and a vermilion flycatcher oversees his prickly pears. Grandfather in white suit and sombrero approves the shepherd dog for holding the cows. Horses trot downhill among mesquites which goats on hind legs mount in search of moist mouthfuls. Dry grass and dusty furrows must wait yet another month until the rains may or may not come. While out in the purple valley, unreachable reservoirs gleam. A sailboat crosses at sunset. After 30 years of living together, we have come back to where time passes less swiftly. Through a Spanish arch, old friends hasten to embrace us. Street greetings are familial. Here a hug is not distrusted. With Mexican chilies, we warm our mouths, and mango juice runs down our fingers. We sip salubrious tea of manzanilla. Minstrels serenade under balconies draped with rings of bougainvillea. Across the street in the cantina, a convivial jukebox plays us to sleep. Crossing the old courtyard of an abandoned chapel, fragrant with luminous cup of gold, we are not ashamed to hold hands. 3 vignettes. It is uncouth to jolt in a Ford LTD over the cobblestones of San Miguel de Allende. Along such passageways, the dusty sandal proceeds with more grace. Number 2. Vitamined and mineraled, the gringo father and daughter stride in holy day processions behind blank mantilled ancient women so bowed by arthritis their eyes see only dust. Number 3. Playing maid on Australia's day off, hanging clothes in the garden, wary of an inquisitive grackle, I step around rosemary high as spreading juniper and admire lettuce, wavy red, and knots of Boston green next to purple flowerets of thyme. We were there during Easter. Now, there are lots of holy day parades in South America, but the one on Easter tops them all, I think. Oh, this was the Good Friday parade. After an hour on the curbstones, villagers in Sunday best, fathers tossing babies and buying ices licked by children, politely declined by tiny grandmothers, see men in black suits issue from the church portals. 10 steps and a pause for the bearers to rest. Christ on his cross is a burden too costly to be redeemed by sidewalk poor who may merely sprinkle herbs on paving stones. Only among the Roman soldiers a small tough centenarian pipes wandering melodies on an Indian flute. And tinseled innocent child brides, excited virgins in white lace, carry small guilty symbols, the cock and the dice. And rows of black poppies, mothers in black mantillas, black hems high or low, totter on spike heels, platforms, or thin-soled pumps. How can they support these terrible angels wielding spikes for their God's feet? Children again, choir boys in purple collars, young heralds announce the ponderous gold and glass casket. Mary, Joseph, and Magdalene follow. And last, the empty cross is mourned by the holy day crowd. The couple that we were staying with had their daughter, their youngest daughter with them, and she was, I don't know, junior high, late junior high maybe. But she was very outgoing and friendly. Her name was Annie. Annie helps the shoeshine boy. They have long talks in the Jardine, where a boy she does not know hands her his heart on a string of beads. She invites Amaro and Carlos to experiment with swimming in her pool. They borrow trunks from her father. Over an endless box of Ritz, Amaro confides he sometimes feels left out. So does she, Annie tells him. They dance long hours at the disco. Annie and Cece with Moscow, Lechuga, and all the jackals who laugh when they call her Arana, spider. Sometimes the boys urge the girls to dress up. Annie prefers jeans. But at the Halloween party, she wins second prize as Anna the banana. One night we watched the egrets flying in and out and around the pines, and I called it the ballet. Footlighted by fluorescent jacarandas, more purple than amethyst, against a backdrop of sunset and mountains, the egrets perform in black pines. Back flap for landings, soar with tightly curled necks, and like slim ebony carvings balance on treetops. Their rooftop audience of American writers, refueled with creative juices, applaud along with yawping nighthawks. At the newly painted station, this was on the as we took the bus back to Mexico City. At the newly painted station, a small boy attaches himself to our luggage and ties on tags. The White Star Line bus will leave on time, he assures us. Meanwhile, on the sidewalks, with shrill cries, he alerts the passers-by regarding the passage to Querétaro or Mexico City in 15 minutes. Sure enough, he is soon loading our bags and being reimbursed again. As the bus pulls out, he comes down the aisle with a basket of tortas and writes out tickets for the 4 señoritas who heeded his recent announcements. With regret, on the outskirts of San Miguel, we observe the young entrepreneur taking his leave.